Hey YouTubers, go on, I love it. We've got a good video this morning. We're going to be talking about brainstorming, improvising. If you are a person that loves to come up with alternative use for things that normally people would just throw away, this is going to be a fun video. Let's start at the beginning. About 10 years ago, I made a video on a self-defense tool. I was thinking to myself, if someone is attacking me, the first thing I'm going to do is put my hands up. If I do that, if they were to hit my arm, what if I had some metal spikes covered with foam, so the spikes wouldn't hurt me unless they got hit. They would hurt the person that was hitting me. I did that. I got some metal spikes on a metal plate used for attaching wood together at the hardware store, and I used Velcro to attach it, and I glued it to a piece of wood there. And it was just like, wasn't a very popular video, but I think it was a really good product. And I was thinking about upgrading it, so I said, you know what, I need to do it again and make some changes, but I need some foam. So where I live is a 55 and over community. Every week I go on my bike Thursdays to look for stuff, and it's incredible. People throw out wood, metal, plastic, different things you can use to recycle or make different things, and tools, all paint, everything you can think of. And that day I found a piece of foam. I said, but it's a little too thick, a little too dense. I wanted something a little softer. So after I got this, I said, I don't want to throw it away. It looks like I could use it for something. So I started thinking of ways I could use this. I came up with like 60. The first day it was like 45, and this morning I thought about another dozen. So I put them together, and that's what this video is going to be. It's going to go down the list very quickly, but this is a piece of dense foam. It's a closed cell. It's used to hold electronics when it's being shipped. It was in the cardboard box. Someone got something. I'm not sure what they got, but it was electronics. But very, very light, has two holes, and there's a cavity here. So how many uses can you come up with for this? By the way, when you brainstorm, you come up with ideas. They don't have to be good or bad. You just have to write them down. Later on, you decide whether they're good or bad, because sometimes you prejudge, and that might have been a good idea. So some of these, not some, most of these ideas, almost all of these ideas are not going to be very good. But a couple of them, I think, are pretty cool. So let's get started. Enough yapping. Okay, very first thing, obviously, if you're going target shooting out in the woods, in the wilderness, you got your car. You want to put your rifle in your car, but it could scratch everything up. But you want something to hold it steady. This is very soft, very light. You could put this on the roof of your car or the hood and put your rifle over it, and it would make a good gun rest for when you go planking, going target shooting. If you're out in the woods hunting and you're standing someplace for a long time in the snow, this would keep your feet warm. Also, if you're working on something that you have to be worried about electric shocks, if you're grounded, you could stand on this and you wouldn't be grounded. It would be a way. I think also it might help with static electricity when you're working on the computers. If you're going camping in the wilderness area, let's say along the shore, if you're going after mussels or clams or oysters, you can tie a little rope to this, put it in the water and tow it behind you and put all your stuff. Use it when you go foraging. You can use this as a water desk. You're in your pool, you've got your little floating chair, but now you need a little desk. You could put your stuff on here and you could have a little desk out on your pool. So instead of a standing desk, you could have a pool desk. Oh, if you have a turtle, you can get little caps. They fit right in here. And then you could fill up the water, and you'd have to make a slide, like a little frame out of wood. But here it could be water for your turtle. And have something go over it so it'll shade. Maybe it doesn't want to be seen all the time. It's not very, very deep, it's very shallow. Years ago I made a little video about some little toys you could make out of these caps. You could turn them into tiny little sailboats. And I said, you could use these, have sailboat races in the house for the kids. And I was thinking, you know what? Now you have a place to do your sailboat races. You could have this, fill it with water, have a little fan, and little toy sailboats. You watch that video. It's a real simple way to make little toy sailboats. Obviously, raw material. You can cut this with a saw or a hot blade and use it for different things. If you're going snorkeling, maybe you're not a very good snorkeler and you don't have a snorkel vest, you could lay on top of this and paddle around, and it'd be a good way to get out in the water. It's not the right color though. You want something that people can see, like international orange. It's a stadium seat. It's too wide to be a stadium seat this way, but if you do this way, also, not only this would interfere with another seat. I sat on it and it hurts the bottom of your leg, but when you do this way, your legs are supported all the way, and it's got the indentation here, so it's body contoured. Very nice stadium seat, actually. Cushion. If you have a very small dog, put a towel here and make a little dog bed, or for a cat. Back to snorkeling, if you take a little piece of PVC pipe and put a clear acrylic lens on one end and then on the other, pop it through here, and then when you're snorkeling, you can use that as a viewport, because when the sun hits the water, it reflects like a mirror. You can't see underwater. But if you have something that pierces the water, then you can look through and see what's down below in the water. Dun 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 dun. Man overboard float. Once again, it's the wrong color. If you put a weight here, so it would float this way, and have a pole sticking down, and the weight on the bottom actually of that pole, and it would float this way. Then attach a very thin whippity pole with a piece of nylon colored like orange or whatever. You could have a man overboard float. So when you threw this in, it would float this way, and a pole would be sticking up, and you could find people if they fell overboard. You have mechanics need something to get under the car, and they have padded creepers or boards. You could take a piece of plywood, same size, pop it in there and put some wheels on there, and you got your little thing for you to go under cars and stuff when you're working on them. If you're going someplace, a demonstration, you can put a line here, and you can put it around your arm, and that way, if someone was to, I think it'd be fine for rocks and stones and sticks, but if a knife, I don't know, a knife would go through this. But if you could cover it with something, I saw a guy, he built a boat with his girlfriend, went across the Atlantic. It was wood frame covered in canvas that had canvas, pitch, which is like a tar, another piece of canvas, more tar, another piece of canvas, more tar, another piece of canvas. And then he tried to stab a knife through it and wouldn't go. Sometimes layers of something like canvas, but that has something that compresses, it's hard for knives. So you might be able to make this into something that would stop a knife. Definitely stop a fist. You can use it as a camp pillow. If you want to film, let's say you have a rowboat or a paddle boat or something that doesn't go very fast, like a small sailboat, and you'd like to see yourself sailing, you could place a camera on here on a mini tripod and secure it. On the bottom, have like a keel, but don't have it straight, have it angled. And when you tow it, because it's angled, let's say it's this angled this way, as you tow it, it's going to go off to the side. And then if you wanted to film on the other side, you just turn it around, have it there, and it would also go out to the side. Because when the keel is off to one side, it's going to go at an angle because it's no longer straight. It's just like a rudder. You can also use it as a personal flotation device. If you have a strap here and a strap here, you can put your leg and your arm, and you can use it to hang on. Wrong color, but it would definitely make a PFD. You could use it as a bed table. You need to have something here and here, but this is real soft. It doesn't hurt anywhere, you know. But if you're in the bed, you're sick, whatever. This is something you could write, or your food. Here, put your food, and you already got a place to collect anything if it spills. Easy to clean off. It's closed cell. It doesn't hold dirt and grime. You could use it. Also, it's insulated, so if you want to keep it something hot or cold, like an insulated serving tray, you can use it as a camp sink. These holes, seal them up once again with your caps. Fill it full of water. Pull out the plug. Got your sink. You can also use this as a foot bath. It would work good if you had flat feet, even better. I'm more. You can use it as, I know nothing about snow, but I was thinking if you had two of these, you could use them as snowshoes. Or if you live someplace where there's like a lot of mud flats, you could use them so you wouldn't sink down in the mud. But you need a couple of them, unless you cut it in half maybe. You can use it as a back pillow. You can use it as a bed table. If you're working in a garden or at the house, anywhere, or in your car, it would be good to save your knees. Put your knees on it, and then also work on your car. Like I said, if you don't want to put wheels to make a creeper, you can just slide under your car, and it's kind of thick though. You want something thinner because you don't have much space under your car. But working on your car and maybe along the side, you're trying to fix something along the runners where it's rusted out. If you're wanting to shoot your BB gun in the house, you can make a BB gun target, put something over here so when it goes through, it collects inside. You can use it as a dart target, throw darts at it. You can use it if you have some clear acrylic. You could cover this with the acrylic and make it like a terrarium. Very narrow plants. If you want to see around corners, here's the corner. You could put this out, then you could you could look around corners and people can see. But that's probably one of the worst ones, but it just made me laugh. If you're working on your car or something, someplace outdoors, the parts always get lost. Easy to hold your parts so they don't get lost. You can cut this in half, and then when you do push-ups, you can use this part so you don't hurt your hands. You can be pushing up. But this is too narrow, but if you cut this in half, you could hold them out to your side and use it for push-ups. It's good. You could get some canvas or whatever and insert here for like a painting. So it'd be a painting frame. You could use this space here, make a diorama. If you don't know what a diorama is, you never went to third grade. If you have some fish that you are taxidermists or whatever, you could put them in here, like perfect size for a fish. It's also like a serving tray for fish. I just thought about that. Keep them nice and the temperature. You could, if you have that plexiglass cover in front, make it into a coin bank. You could put the coins in here, and you could. The thing of it is, to attach plexiglass, you could put like 350 to 100, but still coins are heavy. After a while, they're going to distort, maybe, and then the plexiglass will come off. You probably have to put some kind of bolts through. But yeah, you can make it to a coin bank. You can also make it. Let's say you had a piece of metal or plastic, like go here and in here. You could make it into a sand dial, not a sand dial. The little thing that has sand that goes down. It tells time. Oh gosh, my mind just went blank with sand. You turn them over, the sand goes down. What do they call that? My mind just went blank. Oh my gosh, I feel bad now. If you are into fountains, because this is waterproof, you could use this as the base where the water is and build your little fountain, like a tabletop fountain. This would be the perfect base for it. You can install a square rectangular mirror here. In here you could put two little flashlights, so like have like a mirror with lights if you need to do your makeup. I'm ready for my close-up. You can use it, once again, get the plywood, put some wheels on it, make it into a skateboard. That way you can do it in the house, you bump into stuff, nobody will complain. I don't know. That's just one of those ideas. Paintball armor. Pillow fights. If you get two of them, you could have industrial grade pillow fights. You could have a lot of fun with that. I like that one actually. It's the perfect size for fitting laptops. You could just put your laptop in there, and then out in the pool you could just be laptoping away. You can make it into like a traveler's desk. Have a piece of plywood or something here that folds, you can open up and so you can store stuff in here, and turn around this side, you can do your desk stuff. Yeah. The ink wells from 1910, you know. Use it as a cork board. A window bird feeder. This is about the same width of my windows. You could lift up your window, pop that inside, have an opening here that can open, and then on this side you could have a ledge with bird feeding stuff. You could use it as a bedpan. I'm thinking if people are invalid, they can't get out of bed, you get bed sores, they got to move, they eventually got to move around, but you could have, what if, I'm thinking, and there's a tube, if somebody had to pee, whatever, and the tube would go out, then you wouldn't have to change it all the time, and I don't know, I'm thinking, maybe it's a bad idea, but it's just, I was thinking, people who work like cashiers, they're standing all the time on a hard surface, they have like mats they can use. This is a lot softer. They might be more comfortable for them if they have to stand for a long time. If you have a lot of kids and they're always fighting when you go on car trips, if you have like 2 or 3 of them, you could put them in between the kids in the back seat, so that they would be separated from each other, and they would fight through the holes though. You can use it as an umbrella if you're a lot thinner. You could. I tried this. I have a mini trampoline I use every morning. You actually, if you do like a health bounce, you actually get some bouncing going on with this. I don't know how long it would last, because this might, I'm using my trampoline for 8 years, so you probably wouldn't last very long, but since it's so light, extremely portable, if you wanted to take like a mini trampoline with you, this surprisingly, you do get some it's not hard on your ankles and knees and stuff. If you hang it from the ceiling and another rope on the bottom to secure it so it's a little plate, you could use it as a boxing bag, but it's not a bag. You can use it, if you have 2 of them, you could have one side white, one side black. You could do semaphores, like different, nobody knows what that is. Leave in the comments if you know what semaphores are. This is probably the best one. If you have several, you could hang them from the ceiling outside or the trees. It would be like wind chimes for deaf people. Years ago, when I was a little kid, I watched this show called Rifleman, and it was Chuck Connors, and he was always shooting his rifle. And one day he was out somewhere and the bad guys were after him, and he lost his rifle. All he had was his pistol. So he took a piece of wood, a plank, and he poked a hole, and he put his pistol through it, and he used his pistol to turn into a rifle. I was thinking, what if you took a pistol here and put it through here, and you could be like a rifleman. Like, you could use it for Halloween. You could some little pineapple hits here, and you could make a curved part here so it fits on top of your head. Then you have advertising, so you can just walk around like extremely light. You could wear it easily all day, or just, hey, new in town. There's a hat. If you take 3 coins, you can make it into like a game of penny hockey. And actually, these move easier than the coins do. But what you could do also, instead of penny hockey, you could do like golf. Like this person has 3 coins, they have 3 coins, and you have to get all your coins around this end, and then get your coins into your hole here, and they have to get theirs to theirs, and you count how many strokes, and then like a mini golf. So that could be fun for the kids. The last one, they have those little tiny round candles. They're tea candle or something. I was thinking it would fit here, but you could put a bunch of holes, put it out in the pool, and you could have like a couple dozen candles. Who doesn't want a couple dozen candles floating in the pool? So there's like, what, 62 ideas. Got more. But so this was going to be thrown away, and now it's a piece of treasure. Oh, I forgot. There's one about turtles. not the turtle bowl. If you have a zombie apocalypse, I would never eat a turtle, but if I had to, if I was hungry. Cut this out, get a piece of wood the same size, rectangular, or maybe metal or plastic. Then get two pipes or dowels and attach them so it pivots this way, right in the center, and then have a little weight on this end and a little piece of wood that comes over to keep it from pivoting up. So there's a rod here and a rod here attaching to a piece that's rectangular, and it pivots this way. But there's a piece sticking out so it can't pivot up, and there's a weight here that if it comes up, it would go back down. Then get this at an angle so it's closer to the water, it floats. Turtles come up and they go to this part, and this part it's not going to go down because it's being stopped here. But when they get over to this side, they're going to be heavier than this weight, and it's going to flop down and have a net around here, and they go when they go down, and there's a place for them to get air here. But I like turtles, I wouldn't want to hurt them, but if I was starving, this could make a turtle trap. So yeah, 63 ideas. No, that's enough for today. So that's a fun little thing to do, is improvise, is to brainstorm. And you never know, one of those ideas could be commercially viable, who knows. It's a fun thing to do, to think about things that people throw out. What are the other uses for? I really enjoy that. It's always been a little hobby of mine. So guys, that was my video for this morning. Hope you enjoyed it, and go check out my other videos. I've been making for 18 years, 1,700 every week. You never know what you're going to find. It's a variety channel. People like this stuff they see. The next week it's something different, so they don't come back. So I don't really get a lot of views on my stuff, but I think I have some of the more interesting things you'll find on YouTube. And as we get to be more and more artificial intelligence, I think it's going to become even better. All right, guys. It was fun this morning. Hope you enjoyed it. I did. Take care. See you out there. Watch out for those turtles.
Job, what do you think?
I like turtles.